Well, hey folks, welcome back to Your Inspired Life. I'm your host, Amy Hager, and this week we are working on the preparations for the 8-week accountability program. So we're on day 3, and I want to go over something today to help you have a backup plan. So I call it backup plans, but really what we're doing is more exciting than that. We're fighting against threats to your success. So it's definitely a lot more thrilling way to put it. But really, I want to go over 2 strategies today. I know it's really exciting to kind of get going on a program and get all your ducks in a row, and you've got that enthusiasm going and that momentum. But eventually something's going to get in the way that kind of shakes up your immediate environment. Meaning, if you are always home and your meal times are scheduled and you're following a routine that's pretty set, it can be pretty easy to follow a plan. It's almost like I think about The Biggest Loser and how they're away on some kind of ranch and they don't have real life to deal with. They're just following their diet and doing exercise programs, and then they're losing weight. So in a similar fashion, you're going along on your program, but then something can kind of pop up, real life, right? I think it would be naive not to put a game plan in place for when things potentially go south. So I call it coming up with a plan B and even a plan C. So let's go over those first. It can be helpful to imagine a few different scenarios. So let's go over what a plan B and plan C scenario looks like. Let's say your goal for the week is to eat healthy and a glitch happened and you aren't able to prepare your dinner meal. So then what happens? You're not able to get your balanced, healthy meal put together in time. And so now we're looking at plan B. What is that? What is plan B? So here's some examples of what a plan B could look like. One is you use the grocery store for a shortcut. You know how the grocery store you might be able to pick up a rotisserie chicken and maybe some vegetable sides, or maybe there's like a pre-cooked packet where they have like some kind of stir-fry packet. So just kind of go through the grocery store and pick that up, and then it kind of solves the problem from not having defrosted your meat or having your entire dinner prepared at home. Another idea would be a healthy takeout example. So perhaps maybe it's not pizza or Chinese food, but there's some other place where you can get a relatively healthy, balanced takeout. So that's saving you a step. So idea number 2 for plan B would be to have a healthy meal already prepared, but in the frozen state. So it's available for situations like this, having a plan B. But that does require a couple of steps ahead of time, but it's ready for situations like this. And then the third plan, I would call it a plan C, would be to have something like a lean cuisine meal or some other kind of frozen meal that's portioned and put together that's in your freezer for times like this. If you have a plan B or plan C in place, that's not a problem anymore for you. Here's another example with exercise. So let's say your goal was to jog 3 miles after dinner, but today it's raining and also you can't find your shoes. You just bought a new pair of shoes, but you can't find them. Because plan B could have been going to the gym, because it's good to have a backup plan for weather in all cases, but if you can't find your sneakers, you're also trying to troubleshoot, okay, not only do I have poor weather, but I also don't have my equipment. So what could be another plan B? One idea is you find a fitness video to follow, maybe something on YouTube. You find somebody else to kind of follow through the fitness program. It doesn't require having your brand new running shoes. Number 2 could be joining a class on one of the fitness apps. I know Peloton is an example of an app where they have all kinds of different styles of fitness classes, and you don't necessarily have to have your high impact footwear to wear to do those. You put on an old pair of sneakers and you just go walking instead. Maybe you're using a treadmill or you're using a trampoline, something that you can do indoors because of the rain, or you end up putting on a raincoat or an umbrella and you end up doing it anyway. Or another plan C, I like to call it plan C because I don't like to skip, but the option could be to skip the workout today and then double up at some other point later in the week. Maybe you're working out, maybe your goal is 3 or 4 days per week and you're able to add in one more day, or you add in a morning time in addition to an evening time, just so you're not losing those scheduled times. I call that one a plan C because I don't like removing the option. I like to have that repetition to help with the brain programming for getting a habit really solid. So those are a few examples for coming up with a variety of choices. So you see how It's not just one choice for plan B, it's not just one choice for plan C, but a variety. So you have something to pick from that makes the most sense to you, but also gives you plenty of options. So plan B and plan C are options for events that you can't really foresee, like things pop up out of the blue, and it's good to have that as a backup plan. Now, the next strategy I want to talk about is for when you know something's coming up and you want to be ready for it. I call this one rehearsing or rehearsal. So this is where you actually kind of go through the scenario before you actually are living the scenario. So let's say the example is you know that you're going out for dinner. So this is kind of getting you off of your regular routine of fixing meals at home, and you're being challenged to be in a different environment with different food choices. So in rehearsal, you're going through every decision point and trying to imagine what that's going to be like. So here's how I would do the rehearsal for going out to dinner. So step one would be trying to choose a restaurant where there's a variety of food options. If you're choosing a restaurant that has very limited options, it's not going to be very successful for you. So number two would be another option you could do to rehearse this is to imagine browsing the menu and seeing what you might choose off that menu. You could actually go online and view an online menu if that's available. You might even look at the nutrition facts if those are available. Some restaurants have that, like Panera Bread, for example. Number three is you could kind of imagine yourself ordering. How many allowances do you have for yourself? Do you order the appetizers? Do you order the drinks? Do you order the dessert? How many things are you going to allow to come into the actual experience of the order? Could you order a selection of sides instead of the entree? And then the sides might give you more control over portions. Could you box up half of the entree once it comes? That's another way to kind of decrease portion size. Can you order a baked potato instead of fries? Could you make that as a request at the meal? A lot of times, if you're ordering a burger and it comes with fries, you're ordering a steak and it comes with fries, you might be able to make a substitution. Even if it's not on the menu, you can still ask. And also, can you track calories? Can you find out what that calorie deficit or calorie splurge is going to be? Can you plan for that? So that it might be that you don't want to order anything special. You want to order what your preferred meat dish is, but you can actually get ahead and figure out what the calories are and maybe compensate on that for the rest of your day. So that's kind of where I'm going with the rehearsal, is that there's a lot of decision points that are available to you that you won't have to do on the moment, on the fly. You'll have some time to think through it and prepare without being on the spot, holding the menu open, everybody waiting for you to order. So it's giving you more time to really make an informed decision. So let's talk about this with another example. Instead of going out, you've got company coming to your house. You've got your parents arriving for the weekend, and it's going to kind of throw you off schedule with a bunch of things. You're having to attend to other people and their schedule. So here's some decision points to consider for that. So let's say you're wondering, how you're going to plan to continue your activity routine. It's perhaps on the day of their arrival. Is there an opportunity for you to go for a walk before they arrive? Can you change up the position of your activity routine on the days that they're there? Can you stock some of your parents' favorite foods, preferences, even if they're not on your preferred food list right now? Can you stock some of those items for them that maybe aren't your favorites, that maybe they're not tempting foods for you? And perhaps there's another opportunity to do more cooking at home rather than going out to eat at restaurants. So just an example of some more points to sort of think through as far as rehearsing, imagining what your schedule is going to be, imagining how you can flex that, even though it's it's easy to kind of get everything derailed and really drop everything. And I think some people do tend to do that because they're not really sure how to make it work. It can be a strategy that helps you get ahead of it. Even if you're not 100% on track, even if you're 50% on track, you feel a lot better about making some of an effort versus giving up all of your effort. So folks, I hope those tips are helpful today, just to think of different ways to have a backup plan when things don't go as planned. So one, plan B, plan C, that's sort of things that you have to prepare for ahead of time, but they're available in those emergency situations, even if they're not preferred. And then the rehearsal. The rehearsal is really planning things through before it happens to give you the most control and the most options for your success. So good luck with those, guys. And tomorrow what we're going to talk about are my personal recommendations for just the general population, anyone that's wanting to stay on track with healthy eating and exercise over the next 8 weeks. We'll see you then.